Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This video is going to be on who do I think should have died in Season 11. Now, basically what I mean by this is I wasn't too thrilled with how Season 11 played out. I don't think it's the worst season by any metric. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, probably. But I do think the season didn't feel like a last hoorah, right? It really didn't feel like a final season, because ultimately it wasn't. Walking Dead Season 11 is not the last season, okay? The last season is we're still waiting on the last season, because we've got the Daryl Dixon spin-off and The Ones Who Live, and, like a spin-off is, can you think of any other show that does a spin-off where the main character of the original show is the main character of the spin-off? That's not a spin-off show. That's just a follow-up, right? So The Ones Who Live I don't really consider a spin-off, and the Daryl Dixon show I barely consider a spin-off either, because Daryl Dixon was the main character really from like season. He sort of shared it with Carol, and I guess later shared it with Maggie, but it's all the spin-offs are on like actual like main characters, people who were like protagonists in their own right in the Walking Dead show. So yeah, I barely consider them spin-offs, but I think season 11 probably should have had a few more deaths, a few more moments, and of course I am currently doing a video. I've got it in the works. I know a lot of people want me to release it, but I really want to work on it properly. I've got a video in the works where I want to rewrite season 11. Now, some people say, "Oh, we'll rewrite the whole show," but if I rewrite the whole show, if to do it justice, it's gonna take me years to do it justice, because that's like, how many episodes? 100 and something episodes? Like, it's going to take me like forever to really do it justice. So I don't want to do that really. I'd much prefer just to start with season 11, and we'll see how people find my little fan fiction rewrite. But I thought I'd do this video because it's going to help me sort of test how you guys like these storylines that I'm going to be proposing. And I'm doing it in a tier video form as always. So I've got all the season 11 characters here. Now, I haven't got every single named character, obviously, who was in season 11, and a few of them didn't appear in season 11, but I've put them on the list anyway, because I think it's plausible to believe that they could be in season 11. Now, obviously, I just want to say that, yes, there's characters who died in season 10 that maybe I wasn't too keen on them dying in season 10, but everything that happened up until the end of season 10 is set in stone. That's kind of like my one rule, so I have to kind of jump off from season 10. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Now, what else do I want to say? Oh, also, someone did mention about like the format of these videos, and they're surprised that I've only just reached 5,000 subs, because I've got like over 2,000 videos on my channel and all that. And listen, I hear you. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. Okay, this channel is 10 years old, over 10 years old, 11 years old. So this is never like something I want to do professionally, right? It's just me having fun. It's like a little hobby I do on the side. So yeah, I don't invest that much time into editing and stuff. I literally just hit record on this. I spew out all my opinions, and then I call it a day. And the monetization, the little money on the side it gives me, it's really cool. I appreciate it, but I'm not planning for this to be like a full-time job. If I wanted it to be a full-time job, I would devote a lot of time to editing and stuff. But it's not really my passion. I'm not really into editing. I find it quite tedious, to be honest. So the little bit of editing I have to do, the better. Also, obviously, if you release a video and you've spent hours and hours, I've spent hours and hours and hours and days and weeks on videos before, I've released them and they got fuck all views, right? It's like a lot of like time and effort to put into something, which doesn't reward you anything, right? And it's not even just about the money, it's also just about like people enjoying it, right? But if you get like 100 or 200 views, it's like I wasted all that time for nothing. Okay, so there's a few things that I'm passionate about, like the character profiles. I enjoy them so much anyway, the editing in that, because it's fairly little editing really. I enjoy those videos personally, so I'm willing to do that. But something like this, I'm not gonna highbrow edit it for like 40 minutes, like a 40-minute video, and like highly edit it with clips and stuff. It's just not worth it for me. It's not. I wouldn't be that invested in it. Anyway, sorry, that's all the sort of preface, all the stuff I want to get out of the way. Let's get into the video. Sorry to keep you hanging there. So yeah, I guess we'll just go in. Should we go reverse alphabetical order? maybe we'll do that. That's a bit interesting then. So I've got 5 tiers. Should have died. This is for characters that I definitely think probably should have bit the bullet, and I'll talk about how. Could work. These are ones that I'm sort of debating, and I'll let you get, I'll let you guys hear, and you can tell me your opinions down below. Meh, wouldn't care either way. This is for characters that honestly it doesn't really matter if they die or not. Like if they were to die, so be it. But if they weren't, it wouldn't be a detriment to the plot in any way. Probs not. This is for characters that probably shouldn't die, but not as much as survive for sure. Like these are characters who, it would be silly if they died. So starting off, we'll go with Yumiko. So to be honest, I think Yumiko should probably survive for sure. I was mostly okay with what they did with her in season 11. Now, I don't think she's the most compelling character by any metric, but I definitely think they made her a lot more interesting in season 11. I think the lawyer angle they took with her was pretty good, although I think that courtroom scene was bafflingly, so stupid. Like, it was not how a courtroom would be in any metric whatsoever, but whatever. I think having her in that sort of legal side, being so close to Pamela, I think is interesting. And I definitely think there's more they can do with it. I'm currently just trying to work out the Commonwealth story arc personally, because I think that's the hardest part. The Reapers stuff I've got down locked. I do have a few rules. Now, obviously, I could just scrap the Reapers or scrap the Commonwealth or, in my rewrite, because it's my rules, but I want to make it somewhat realistic. So I'm keeping the storyline. So I'm keeping all the villains. I'm keeping so the Reapers, the Reapers, the Commonwealth, and of course the variant walkers. Although I'm definitely gonna show the variant walkers at the start of the season. Let's not, because then we have a little bit of build up, right? We see one at the start of the season, and I think Aaron's going to be the focal character for that, and his sort of trauma, his fear, which I did like as a little story arc for Aaron. So yeah, Yumiko I think should probably survive for sure. I don't really see her dying in my rewrite, although it could change, but I think she's just, too important of a character in the legal kind of that sort of the governmental, the bureaucratic works. We've got, is this Paul Wells? Is that what he's called? I've got a few of the Reapers on here. We might as well just get all the Reapers. I think all the Reapers, I know they did die, but obviously they're all going to die. All the Reapers will die. Now, these guys will probably... Should we just get onto the Reapers and skip ahead? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so here is my rewrite for the Reapers. I'm just going to loosely pitch it to you. And you guys can... I think I need another tier right at the bottom, actually. Sorry. I'm very professional with these things. And that tier is going to be not in the show. So... what this tier means at the very bottom, not in the show, is they're just written out the show. Okay, we're not having them in the show. Anyway, yeah. So the Reapers. Who did I get in? I got Boone. Is it Washington or Wellington? I forget his name. Carver, obviously. So we'll talk. I'll discuss more in a second. Pope, obviously. We're gonna make Pope better. I know Reaper Pope. He's probably, or he or she. They are probably watching. Okay, and they are probably angry because they love Manchetta, whatever the heck that guy's name is. Man, I'm terrible. I've covered all these characters as well, so it makes it even more funny. And I just need to find Leah. Where the hell is Leah? Leah. Where are you at? Is it alphabetical? I think it might be alphabetical, actually. Keith, Kim, Lance, Leah. Did I forget Leah? Oh, she's there. She's down there. Sorry. I think that might be all the Reapers. If I'm missing one, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, this is my sort of rewrite for the Reapers, okay? So, I think Acheron Part 1 and Part 2, I'm going to sort of combine roughly into one episode. I think there's a lot of, preamble stuff at the start that we can just kind of skip through. I like the imagery, the sort of the thematic theme of, the class system that Daryl finds in the sewer, but then they kind of don't do anything with that. I feel there's no there is a conclusion to it, sure, but it feels a bit rushed. So I think we'll set that up, sure. The Reaper stuff though, we're done with by the mid-season finale. Okay, so the mid-season finale, the episode 6. of season 11. That's when we're done with the Reapers. We're finally done with them. Okay, so basically how it's going to happen I'm just to sort of rough through it. Maggie and a team of basically the same team, but maybe I add a few extra people. Oh shit, I think I forgot to add Alden to this list. Damn. Rightio. That's an issue. I forgot to add Alden. Oh no. We'll talk about that in a minute, I guess. I can always, yeah. We'll use a stand-in for Alden. We'll use Adriana. Okay, this is Alden. Okay, imagine this looks like Alden. So right. My pitch is basically, so the same crew go to the Reaper to Meridian, but I think I want a better backstory, okay? So the backstory, instead of like the Reapers just randomly stole this from Maggie, Maggie stole it from them, okay? So Maggie did some pretty nasty shit to steal it. Actually, maybe not. Maybe the community she stole from Meridian, there was another community. They were going through hard times. They had hunger or whatever. So Maggie paid, or basically promised the Reapers, if the Reapers took out this other community or whatever it may be, she gets like half the supplies. Like something bad that Maggie's done in the past. Something like kind of evil. That's basically what I want. So probably not they steal from the Reapers, because obviously the Reapers are very capable. But basically they use the Reapers' services to take out another community that wasn't entirely justified, right? It was partially for survival and less so for thing. Now, you might be saying, well, isn't that a little bit out of character for Maggie? Kind of, maybe, but like a lot of time has passed. And I don't know, Maggie's always been pretty fucking ruthless throughout like every season, right? And I think her being a bit of a hypocrite, I think can really work to help her and Negan kind of come to a better, not relation, like not friendship, but like an understanding at the very least. And so I think there has to be that like dark backstory. Also at the start of the season, Negan is just in jail. Negan's not out and about like helping. He's just Maggie just puts him in jail. Like the first time we see Negan, he's in the cell. And her reasoning is like, I forgave, like, I'm fine with you being alive. Like, I accepted that in season 9, because they seem to forget about that scene. I'm fine with you being alive, Negan, but you're not being free. You're in jail. Like, this is your punishment. Negan's dead, sure, but he only stays dead if you stay in the cell. So something like cringe writing like that, I don't know. But like, so that's how it starts. But when they're going to Meridian, whatever it may be, there's a storm, they have to take the metros, they're like, okay, that storm that's coming, we could travel under the tunnels, blah, blah, blah. Negan's like, well, Gabriel, whoever could be like, well, Negan knows that tunnel system like the back of his hand, right? So that's why they bring Negan. It's the same reason, basically, because he was like a DC tour guide, they say. Same sort of reason, but that's why they bring Negan down. Why does he know that like the back of his hand? I mean, why does he know DC like the back of his hand? It's a bit whatever, but it's a reason nonetheless. So Negan comes with, of course. Now, when they reach Meridian, I feel like I'm giving it all away, but I haven't like worked out all the kinks. When they reach Meridian, they are going to use the whisper tactic, and that like a lot of these guys, like we could probably take out Port Wells and a lot of the other Reapers, take them out with the herd, right? So they use the whisper tactics to get the herd to the gates, whatever it may be, and then they like use some explosives or whatever it is to get through to the thing, into Meridian. I think the Reapers do attack first as well at the end of Acheron part. At the end of the first episode, I think we introduce the Reapers, and they can kill off like Cole. I guess Cole I can't remove because he was in season 10. So yeah, this guy's gonna die. He's gonna get killed off. I don't give a fuck about him. And then the others, so like Duncan. I'm just going to write Duncan and Agatha off the show. Going to keep Frost, though. I think we can do something with Frost. I just don't like too many like new characters. So we'll have Frost, we have Elijah. Maybe we need a woman in there, actually. I don't know. But her death's really dumb. But if Duncan and Agatha were in the show, I would just get them killed off like pretty much straight away. At the start of... I wouldn't even like draw their deaths out. Just kill them off in the opening. Obviously, their deaths get drawn off in the episode, like... Agatha gets killed later on by like some random zombies, and Duncan, of course, like is slowly bleeding out. So I wouldn't bother with that. I would just bam, 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 done, gone. They're gone. All right, kill them off straight away. So yeah. Now I haven't fully of my Reaper stuff. I'm trying to like the best way to do it without the best way to structure it and sort of give all my thoughts. So these guys, or him at least, and some of the others, they get killed off in the Whisperer herd, and then these two, well, it doesn't really matter. The more minor ones, it doesn't really matter too much. These guys get killed off later on, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, some of the minor ones like Austin and Paul Wells and all that, they get killed off when they infiltrate the base. And basically what happens is Maggie, takes all the food, puts it in a truck or whatever it may be, and they get the fuck out of there. They use some explosions or whatever it may be, and they get the fuck out of Dodge, okay? They leave Meridian with all the food. Before that, though, Maggie gets kidnapped by the Reapers, okay? So we actually have a showdown between her and Pope. So because Leah, instead of Daryl getting captured by Leah, Daryl captures Leah. So we have obviously Daryl and maybe, who did I say it would be? Daryl and Alden, I think I said. Daryl and Alden, or whoever it may be, they kidnap Leah as a team. So Leah is, yeah, she's kidnapped. Oh, I think I said Lydia comes with as well because of her whisper tactics. So Lydia tags along on this mission too. Yeah, so also that way we can build up the relationship between her and Elijah. If that's what they really want to do. That's the thing they really want to give Lydia. That's cool. We're going to build it up a little bit earlier. So it's her, Daryl. Actually, wait, no, it was Daryl, Elijah, and Lydia. Okay, so they kidnap Leah. Leah's kidnapped, but also Negan betrays Maggie, or seemingly betrays Maggie. And Negan actually is the one to infiltrate the Whisperers because Pope has heard all about Negan, okay? He knows all about Negan because him and Maggie, of course, used to be like friends, right? They used to be allies. So Pope's like, I've heard all about you, Negan. She never fucking shut up about you. She always went on about the man who murdered her husband. So, of course, Pope has a natural reason to trust Negan somewhat, right? Because he knows that Negan was imprisoned in Alexandria, right? So that way, the infiltration doesn't feel so stupid. Because I always found it really dumb that Daryl, like, he shows up with the same group that was attacking Pope, and like somehow Pope is able to basically blindly trusts him, or there's not even like a moment where Pope like questions his loyalty that much, like because the fire thing seemed to be like, a main thing anyway, and the torturing Frost, I guess, but then Frost was like. Sure, for Pope it maybe proves it, but like Frost is just not a character we care about. So, I mean, like, it doesn't really do much for the audience. But I think Negan, like, betraying Maggie, like, knocking her out, he's basically surrounded. So he, like, plays the villain, basically. And he's like, listen, guys, I'm not with her. I'm a kid. She kidnapped me or whatever. I'm just some guy that she's thrown in a cell for years or whatever it may be. But of course, because Pope has spoken to Maggie before and has had a conversation with Maggie before, she sort of knows who Negan is, so he does kind of naturally trust him. So yeah, that's what happens. So of course, when Daryl, Elijah, Lydia, Alden, and Gabriel, they of course, and Frost is also kidnapped, but of course Negan is Frost is kidnapped, but obviously by a separate team, and Negan just fucking tortures the shit out of him. I think that scene's way better. Yeah, like Pope's like, we don't need two. We one for one or whatever it may be, or two. I don't know. But or it could be that Frost actually. Wait, no, separate thing. I think maybe Frost is being tortured, and of course, he's gonna like spill or something or whatever, or spill like a plan. So I don't know. Maybe Negan just like beats the fucking evolution shit out of him, or whatever it may be. Yeah, and maybe we could have like a scene in Acheron Part 1 where like Frost like taunted Negan, or like was really mean to Negan, or kind of like bullied Negan. So to the audience, we're like, is this revenge, or is this like part of him playing the spy role? So yeah, I think everyone says like Gabriel should be the spy or Daryl should be the spy. I actually think Negan should be the spy. I think it works way better. So Frost probably killed by Negan after maybe revealing some information or whatever it may be. They eventually use the Whisperer herd. They all meet up. Haven't figured out the exact kinks of it, but obviously everyone makes it out alive aside from Alden. Okay, because. Wait, no, sorry. I fucked up badly. I already changed this. So Frost, he can just be another guy who dies at the beginning, okay? Sorry, this is meant to... Adriana, or whatever her name is, the Oceanside woman, she's going to die regardless, but this is meant to represent Alden. Negan is going to... What I said about Frost, ignore that. He just dies in the opening. Sorry, I changed this in my mind. This is how badly I plan things. That happens to Alden, sorry. So Negan kills Alden. Yeah. So Alden's being tortured, and Negan kills him, right? Because Alden's, like, about to break the thing. As obviously anyone would, probably being tortured, so it's not like, don't hold it against him. He holds out for a long time, but he's being tortured a lot, and he breaks. Okay, he breaks, and he's about to give the plan away, and something happens. I don't know what it is, but Negan, gets in there, and he's like, yeah, what did you say? What is it? And like he like purposely, like, I don't know, cuts an artery or something. Whatever it may be. I need to work out the kinks of it. But for one reason or another, for the greater good, Negan kills Alden in front of Maggie as well. So Maggie like witnesses this as well. So she sees what Negan has done. And obviously near the end, Negan obviously begins to betray them. I want a scene probably with Carver v Negan v Maggie. I like that. I like the idea of them working together. We don't need Elijah there. It can just be Negan and Maggie v Carver, and I think Carver will beat the absolute fucking shit out of them. And then we'll have to, they're basically like on their last knees. They're both about to die. Like Carver has bested both of them. Like I want him to like smash their faces in, and then like out of nowhere, obviously Gabriel like shoots at Carver. Probably doesn't kill Carver, but Carver like flees, and so they basically have to like help each other out. They're both like helping each other walk out of Meridian, that kind of scene, right? I kind of want that sort of moment, right? To sort of this is the only way I can think to sort of somewhat bring them on the same level, is you make Maggie be pretty evil in her backstory, like what she's been doing previously. But also, you make Negan kind of still be a little bit evil too. Like, you don't make Negan just be, like, the hero. Like, oh, I'm such a great guy, Maggie. Like, no, have him fucking brutally murder Alden in front of her, right? But for a good reason, right? And a reason that she understands. So, yeah. And then I think after this, Negan can bounce for a bit. That's cool. And, yeah. So who have we not... also Leah. So this whole time, obviously, they were going to do a trade. But I think I haven't worked exactly how they do this. Basically, Pope agrees to do a trade for Leah for Maggie, and they will... but obviously, Pope has ulterior motives. He's just going to kill everyone. I think during that trade is when they infiltrate Meridian, and they hand over Maggie, and I think Leah... Again, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but... somehow Pope dies during this exchange, okay? So Pope will die. I don't know exactly how. But yeah, Pope will die. Pope will die, okay? Again, I need to work out the kinks of it. I want to improve Pope as a character for sure, but I think with how they set it up, this is like the best way I can think of it. So he dies during the trade. Who kills him? I mean... if it could be Leah, probably not. It's probably just going to be Daryl. And I think Leah's going to be, like, expressed that Pope's, like, a father to her and all this. Like, Pope, like, helped her through the loss of her sister, a.k.a. her, like, her best friend, and the loss of her son as well. Like, Pope was always there for her. Pope and Carver, the other guys, they were some shitbergs. They're not, like... She doesn't love those guys as much as she loves both Pope and Carver. Pope's like a father to her, and Carver's like a brother to her. So, these are the two closest people to her. And of course, Daryl will kill Pope. I don't want to have Leah kill Pope because I just don't like that. I just think it's really dumb. So yeah, Daryl kills Pope during the exchange, and of course Maggie's left because he knew that Pope was going to kill her. Maybe there's a sniper or something, but someone infiltrates it. I don't know the exact kinks, but yeah. And so they escape with the food in a truck. So everyone escapes. Alden dies. Yes, I've killed off Alden. I don't know. But at least it's better than an off-screen death, I think. And I think it's quite symbolic, like Negan killing the last other savior. And also, we just need some more deaths. And I think Alden's death was probably fine placed there. We can have some cool but badass Alden moments beforehand, sure. Yeah. And they escape Meridian with a truck full of food. But of course, Carver and Leah are still alive, as well as a few others. Maybe these guys are still alive too. Not him. He's dead. These guys are still alive too. And basically, what will happen is they track Maggie and co back to Alexandria. But something happens. I don't know exactly. How would they... Yeah. Well, they think the herd has like absolutely destroyed them, right? And it's just Leah left, but it's not. Of course, Carver survives his gunshot from Gabriel or whatever, or maybe he's not shot. I don't know. And the other guys survive. They have like another tactic. Maybe they whip out the Watcher. They blow up the dead or something, and they end up surviving. And they notice that the meetup, the trade was like a ploy to basically invade the community and steal all the supplies. And although Maggie's life was obviously at risk. Oh wait, and Negan would probably kill. Negan would probably kill like the other. Will infiltrate the Pope's plan to like snipe Daryl and the crew. Right? Negan would probably be on that shit. And Negan would probably let them in as well. So yeah, Negan helps to facilitate the plan. After it, he bounces off, but everyone else returns to Alexandria. But these guys track them somehow, and I just want them to absolutely fucking decimate Alexandria, okay? They destroy it, and then at the last minute, the Commonwealth come with, of course, Eugene, and they kill off all the Reapers. Carver, I think, probably will be killed by either Maggie or Daryl. Maybe Maggie. Maybe we'll keep it as Maggie. Yeah, we'll keep it as Maggie. But, of course, Leah sees this, and Leah's about to kill Maggie, and Daryl knocks her out, and, of course, she is basically arrested by the Commonwealth, because in the shootout, she also does kill, like, a Commonwealth trooper or two. So, because of that, she's arrested by the Commonwealth, so she's going to be in the jail the whole time in Season 11, so she doesn't go missing, and this will also explain why Lance eventually uses her as, like, a tool, right? He doesn't just randomly find this fucking woman in the woods. She's been in the Commonwealth prison the whole time. So she goes in the Commonwealth prison, and then also we can have, like, these little scenes with her and Daryl talking, like, Daryl can be like, because he does kind of really care for her, right? And he wants their a relationship with her, right? He does actually really love her. But of course, everyone's now died. Her entire sort of family is gone. They're basically wiped out by the Commonwealth. And of course, Daryl or Maggie probably kills Carver. So, yeah. Now, in terms of what Alexandrians are going to be decimated by the Reapers before the Commonwealth come and save the day, well, for a start, I think is like the B story. I want to mention the Oceanside because they talk about like no food, but then there's a community called Oceanside that's like a day ride away. That's like, fishers. So I think we're gonna have to have something to do with Oceanside. I want to involve Oceanside a bit more, considering Hilltop's gone, Kingdom's gone, Alexandria's still there. I want to include the Oceanside, so we're gonna have a little B story of people going to the Oceanside to get fishies, right? So, some people are going to be on that mission, so not everyone's going to be at Alexandria. But the people who are, obviously Aaron is at Alexandria, and this is going to be like a big trauma scene for Aaron when obviously everyone's being like slaughtered and stuff. And I think Aaron's arc overall is going to be overcoming this kind of fear, right? So he has this fear of losing his daughter, losing his own life, and I think through like every like enemy he's had, he really wants to, he just doesn't want to die. But at the same time, one of his biggest wants is obviously to keep Alexandria, right? He wants to keep the community as it was, and he doesn't want to lose it. And I think ultimately how Aaron's arc should end is he gives up on Alexandria, right? He understands that there are certain things that are more important than this community. And yes, this has been his home since the start of the apocalypse, but I think this season should say goodbye to Alexandria. And that's like the biggest thing I want. And I think this is be the perfect arc for Aaron in this final season, right? We first saw him as the recruiter for Alexandria, and I think him finally reaching a point where he accepts that Alexandria is no more, and Alexandria, the chapter of Alexandria is ended. I think it's a good arc for Aaron, right? I really do, because it can be down to you can say, well, the Commonwealth can rebuild it, but I mean, is it really worth the Commonwealth coming back and forth? And if everyone from Alexandria leaves to go live at the Commonwealth, Aaron's going to be there on his own with Gracie and maybe Jerry by his side. It's just not good enough, right? And I think how we facilitate this arc is obviously we'll see it later down the line. But yeah, I think this is kind of like Aaron's arc is giving up on Alexandria. So of course I don't think he should die. Sorry, he's not going to be written out the show. He's going to survive for sure. I said I was going to go in reverse order, and I sort of just talked about that. But yeah, the whole Reaper scene is going to be like a big traumatic thing for Aaron. I know my thoughts are kind of bouncing over the place here. Now Virgil, I think he should just die on the Inside episode. He should get killed by the Ferals. To be honest, I think that was probably like a fine way to him including his arc. So that's where we kill off Virgil. Now, in terms of Alexandrians that get killed off by the Reapers, where is he? Where is he? Scott is a goner. He gets killed off by the Reapers. He's been in the show since season 6, so it'd be a big recognizable death. Who else? Now, some of these guys have not appeared in the show for a bit. I think some of them didn't appear in season 10. But we're going to kill off like Nora. We'll kill off her. We'll bring her back. Bring the actress back just to kill her off. Obviously, there's like schedules and stuff. But let's feasibly say that she is, that she can come back. And also Gage. I kind of don't like. I like the scene in concept of Maggie like with Gage like stabbing himself and Maggie not helping him. But my problem with that is like nothing really comes from that scene. I feel like other than like a really cold moment for Maggie, like, I feel like nothing really comes from that scene. It's just like a shocking moment that like doesn't really benefit the story later on in any way. Like no one brings it up ever again. So for me, I just think kill off Gage in the Alexandrian storm. Also Vincent, the kid that was bullying Judith. I think we'll still have that storyline, probably to a little less cringy. But yeah, I think Vincent is going to die during that attack. Like I think Judith will try to save him from a Reaper, but a Reaper will just like shoot him dead, and like Judith's like absolutely shocked, and maybe like Judith's about to be shot as well, and that's when the Commonwealth come in and like save the day. So yeah, we'll kill off Vincent, and maybe he can be Roy's kid. Roy will probably die at the start as well. We'll chuck in Roy because I think he was fine as like a mini character. So of course Roy will die alongside these guys. They'll get killed when the Reapers first show up. Barbara. I just don't want Barbara to die, okay? Barbara could be another Alexandrian to go, but she's like a recognizable one. But we gotta keep Barbara around because I love Barbara and I'm biased, okay? So yeah. Now characters like Diane and Bertie, these two are all at the ocean side. That's like my sort of, because we don't see them at Alexandria, and so in my headcanon they're at the ocean side. They personally, basically, there's a bunch of people who obviously were at the hilltop who do not want to live with Carol and do not want to live with Negan, okay? And they basically live in the ocean side by themselves because they heavily disagree with what Carol did, and there's like a bit of a rift going on so far. And I think Carol will go on this mission to get fish. So part of it is like her coming to terms with what's happened, right? And trying to like seek forgiveness in some way. She can't really. That forgiveness does not come, you know. They don't forgive her for like basically how she sacrificed their home, right? Or she inadvertently led to the defeat of their home, and also like many people died in that battle. So how does Carol be forgiven for that? It's quite difficult. I'm going to talk briefly about Carol. Carol's like the one, I know how I want her story to end, and basically I kind of want a similar thing that was going to happen in season 10, where I think what she does is, I think the whole time when she first infiltrates the Commonwealth and she kind of like bumps Ezekiel up the list, I like that. And I think Carol should kind of become like almost like a Lance Lackey for a little bit, where she's not as skeptical as maybe she is in the show. Now, obviously, well, actually, she would be skeptical of him, but she's a little bit more ruthless, right? Because that's what Carol's kind of like sometimes, and so she does things that benefit her people, right? So she like make sure that Daryl gets a promotion or wherever it may be, or Daryl and Rosita, like, they skip through training, and, you know, she does, like, some sneaky things with the help of Lance, because she has, like, certain skills that Lance likes, right? So she's able to infiltrate certain groups of people, you know, gain their trust, pretend to be, like, the wolf in sheep's clothing and all that, and maybe also Carol, like, uses the kids, almost like a little finger, like, she uses the kids to go, like, steal some, like, secret documents or whatever it may be. I think that sort of, I do like that idea for Carol. I think that can work. So she kind of becomes like Lance's little lackey, and I think ultimately that's like what is the downfall of all the characters, right? Of all the characters. I mean, I'm gonna scrap the Labour camp. I think the Labour camp's fucking stupid. And it's just like, oh, these rich people are really evil. It's just like, I don't like that. The Labour camp, we're scrapping. We're scrapping that shit. Instead, I think it's just a class war, right? But an actual proper, like, class war. I want there to be the bubbling up of a war. And I think Carol is somewhat, like, starting that war to some degree. because she sees the actually no, she's working against I don't know. What do I do with Carol? What would I feel Carol would do? What's in character? Because I feel like Carol only, like, there's like parts in the past, right, where Carol only really cares about herself and her friends, and she really doesn't give a fuck about anyone else. And I kind of, maybe we shouldn't revert to that, because maybe that sort of defeats the point of her, like, seeking forgiveness, right? So I think, no, she would probably fight against that system. So I think, yeah, Carol fights against the class system in some way. Again, like I said, I haven't really worked at the Commonwealth stuff as much. But ultimately, I want Carol to die. I think Carol should be the final big death. And I think it should be similar to how Rosita goes out. I'd kill Carol off, similar to how Rosita dies, where she's bitten, and of course, she just slowly passes away. And instead of it being Rosita, I think it should be Carol. She's just a much bigger death. She's been there since the start. She's basically one of the main characters. I think it works really well. So yeah, and I think this whole time as well, and this can be like a moment where like people like Diane and Bertie are like, yeah, we fucking forgive you, Carol. We forgive you for what happened. You fucking saved a community of 100,000 people, whatever it may be. So I think, yeah, Carol does something inadvertently to help, like, draw the herd, or, like, blow up the herd, or, she does, maybe not the only thing, but she's a part of that, and as a result, she's bitten. She takes one of the more dangerous jobs, right, even though, like, Daryl's like, nah, don't do it, yeah, and so I think, ultimately, like, Carol, like, saving, like, a bunch of people who she doesn't fucking even know, I think kind of, in a sense, forgives her for, basically getting a bunch of people killed in season 10. It's really rough, I know, but hopefully you kind of get the idea of where I'm going with Carol there. I'm sorry, I know I'm jumping around here. It's a bit of a pain. So like I said with Elijah, we're going to do him and Lydia. I think they should be a thing. Well, I don't really think that. I think they're a random ass couple. But instead of just dropping it, I think we'll go for it. Personally, I would have always preferred Lydia to Henry to stick around, but let's go with these two being a couple. Like I said, she goes on the mission to Meridian, so she's there the whole time. She helps Elijah. I don't think she's one of the casualties. She doesn't die though, don't worry. Instead, I think these two having a happy ending is probably works. Although I think as a backstory for Elijah, he used to be a Reaper, okay? He has the mask, he has the skills, it adds like a little extra layer. He used to be a Reaper, he was one of the Reapers. He was like someone they were training. He was like a young kid, obviously, because he's not the same age as the Reapers. But he was a kid that they found. Maybe they found him in that church that they all took shelter in. Him and his sister. They trained Elijah to be a Reaper, but his sister joined the enemy. Joined Maggie because she didn't want to be with the Reapers anymore. And they killed her as a result. But Elijah was always loyal to Pope. But after, of course, they killed his sister, he of course abandoned them. So as well as this, we have like a little extra layer with like Carver and Elijah and like their sort of rivalry, right? Because Carver was the one who trained Elijah. So yeah, there's a little bit more of a thing. Although I do think Elijah could potentially work as a death in Meridian, but it's like setting up his character and having his character just to like kill him off in that arc feels a little pointless, right? It feels like a Gamma moment, but then I don't know what else we could really do with him at the same time. But like I said, I think I was going to do the whole setting up the relationship. So I think we'll have. I don't like the idea of Lydia like losing another boyfriend either. The poor girl's been through too much. Yeah, we'll probably keep these two alive. I need to find a better conclusion. I think their conclusion's okay, but I just think their relationship like needed more work. So we're going to build this up a bit more. We're going to hopefully do a bit more with Lydia. The cast is bloated though. We need to get rid of the cast. This is part of the problem with season 11. Is a bloated ass cast. So I may change my mind. Other characters who die in the Alexandrian. Cal and Eduardo. We'll bring them back just to fucking murder them, okay? Bring them back. They're like, they can reunite with Maggie in the first episode. Like, oh my god, Maggie. Like they've just come back from like a mission or whatever. A fucking scouting mission, like trying to find game or whatever. They're like, oh my god, Maggie. So like Maggie's like, oh, Cal, Eduardo, it's been too long. And then yeah, kill them off. Haha. Yeah, then we got like Douglas. Fucking, is that his name? Or Is his name Douglas? This guy, anyway. He's an extra. Yeah, kill him off too in the Siege of Alexandria. But also, this one might be brutal. Kill off Adam. Ooh. Brutal, okay? Because Maggie promised Alden, I'll look after your kid. And then Adam gets killed. No, actually, no, that's too dark. No, that's too dark. Nah. I'm sorry. Okay. Another person who dies during the Reapers. Oh, yeah, Nabila. Nabila gets killed too. All right, so Jerry's a single dad now. So, yeah, we kill off all these people. It's an absolute fucking massacre, like I said. Yeah. Don't think we'll kill off any of Jerry's kids, though. That's a bit mean. Oh, Papa Bear? Yeah, we'll kill him off too. Why not? Papa Bear will die. I just want and Ross, that guy, a slaughter. Basically, I want to kill off pretty much all of Alexandria. So, like, the only remaining people left is, like, literally like the core characters. That way we cut down the cast a bit. We kill off like a fair few people. You know, we cut the cast, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh fuck! And also, yeah. Now on the inside episode, I want there to be a brutal ending to this episode, so I don't care. At the end of the on the inside episode with Connie, obviously Connie survives it. Virgil dies, saving Connie. But as Connie and Kelly reunite, one of the ferals comes out and like stabs Kelly in the back. Okay. Oh god, no. I've put them in the wrong category. Sorry, I put Elijah and Lydia in the wrong category. Yeah. So Connie is gonna survive for sure. I keep doing this. This is not the wrong. I've took the wrong. They're not getting written out the show. They're getting killed off. Damn it. Sorry. Yeah. No, they're the wrong one. I fucked up all my things. I fucked up all my categories. I think this is like a messy ass video. I do apologize. Yeah. So all those guys die, and then. So yeah, Connie and Kelly reunite. And is a brutal sort of end to the episode. Connie gets fucking stabbed in the back, okay? Now, some people might be saying, like, oh, but that's kind of like, that's so cliche. Is it? A little bit, sure. But at the same time, it's like, it's brutal. It's the final season. We're killing off people. And we need to fucking get rid of the cast. Because the cast is far too bloated. So, yeah, that's how I'm ending that story. Kelly gets killed off. Kelly. Connie is devastated. Everyone else is devastated. Sad times. Moving on. But the ferals obviously get killed. They all get killed. Yeah. So, cool. Awesome. I love how we did the end with Carol first. Like, oh yeah, she's the big final death. Who else have we got? Oh, I threw Negan here, but he's not meant to be here. Negan's probably going to survive. I just don't see how he'd kill off Negan. I think Carol's the big sacrifice. Although, I think in a world, it would be cool if Negan was. Daryl is probably going to survive, although I've talked about killing him in the past. If I'm doing a rewrite for Season 11, I can't really think of something that would like make sense for him to die in Season 11. So, yeah, he'll survive, I suppose. Annie, now I'm going to just like write out Riverbend. I hate Riverbend. So, Ian, he's getting written out. Jesse, where's that Jesse kid? He's from the Commonwealth, but that's like to do with the Riverbend shit. He's getting written out too. And Hart, although Hart looks fucking cool, I'm gonna have to write her out. Okay, she's sure not in the show. Written her out. But Annie, on the other hand, where did I put Annie? Annie, I think she's fine. I think her and Negan are just in the Commonwealth. Okay, so like they just joined the Commonwealth. So Negan obviously finds Annie on the road. How long is the time skip? Like 7 months or something, whatever it is. That he finds Annie on the road at some point, and he joins the Commonwealth, and yeah, they're in like a different part of the Commonwealth, like a different section, because the Commonwealth felt really small in the show when it was meant to be like a community of like 60,000 people or something like that, or 80,000 people. Like it was hundreds of thousands of people, not hundreds, tens of thousands of people, and it just felt like really small. And so I want it to be like feel a bit bigger. So they're like just in a different section of the Commonwealth. They live in like a completely different part, like the other side of the Commonwealth. So that's like part of the reason why they've never met them. And I think in some sort of like revolution, like when they're doing like the revolution stuff, or Maggie's doing like Negan's just there. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You know, like there's a confrontation, and Negan's like, "Well, this is my wife. We live in the Commonwealth, and you know, shit's been bad for us. Like the pregnancy medication is costing tons, right? And so I think it can just be as simple as that. But in this, I think Maggie is going to do something in her little revolt that inadvertently gets Annie killed. Although I think Maggie's going to be stubborn and she's going to stay. Not at the hilltop. The hilltop's gone, okay? The hilltop's destroyed. We're fucking ditching the hilltop. That's just stupid. The fact that she's trying to cling on to this crumbling fucking community is silly. So instead, Maggie lives at the oceanside. The last community that's properly intact. And she doesn't live at Alexandria. Oh, maybe she should be at Alexandria. She kind of dips in between. No, she's Aaron's taken up at Alexandria, but of course she's taking up Oceanside and kind of helping out there, helping out Alexandria, sort of helping out in the both. I think we need to abandon the hilltop. I think that was really dumb, ridiculous, right? Because they make a point that the hilltop's gone at the end of the Whisperer stuff, right? And even in the COVID episode, like they go to the hilltop and they're like, oh, it's fucking destroyed. No point staying here. Let's go back to Alexandria. So they make a point like the hilltop's gone, and then they like pretend like Maggie is like still somehow like holding on to it, and I just think that's silly. So like we're just getting rid of the hilltop, okay? She can bounce back between Alexandria and the Oceanside. Anyway, somehow Maggie inadvertently gets Annie killed, okay, and including the baby too. So yes, Joshua and Annie die. Negan is distraught. Negan's like, Maggie, you fucking did this, and he's like almost like gonna kill her. And then I think for this point, right, this is the point where Maggie's like, I'm just as evil as you, right? I think Maggie like breaks down, like Negan broke down in season 9, and Maggie breaks down and says, I'm just as fucking evil as you. If anything, I'm worse, because at least you've changed. Like, at least you've somewhat changed. I'm a monster. I'm maybe even more than a monster. Like, you laughed. Something like that. Obviously, it's a bit different because Negan, like, laughed when, like, Glenn died and all that. But, like, she can break down and say she's a monster anyway. Maybe not as bad. Maybe she doesn't say, oh, I'm as bad as you. Or maybe like, I'm as bad as you, but maybe not worse than Negan. But, yeah, like, she can be like, yeah, I'm a fucking monster. I sacrificed all these people to help the cause, okay? I fucking wiped out a whole community just for my son and my survival, okay? I'm fucking not a good person. And so, yeah, we have that kind of self-reflection moment with Maggie. And that way, I think Maggie and Negan's, like, resolution, like, they're resolved, okay? They're never going to be friends, but at the very least they're like cordial, right? And that's, I think, a much better way to do it. And that sort of speech that Maggie has at the end, season 11, we can still have that in. Don't worry. But yeah. So Annie's just like a random person who lives in the Commonwealth. That's basically who she is. He's just someone Negan met when he joined the Commonwealth. Herschel Jr., he's going to survive for sure, obviously. We'll keep him alive. We can have that confrontation between him and Negan still, but just not in Riverbend. I'm writing out Riverbend. It was silly. Who else do we have? Leah. I didn't conclude Leah. So eventually, of course, Lance will use Leah as, or maybe it won't be Lance. Maybe it will be Pamela. Who knows? Lance, I haven't worked the Commonwealth stuff out, but I think Lance will use Leah in some way, and of course Maggie or Daryl will kill her. Michonne and Rick are just going to be cameos. I'm just going to, or maybe even like not show them, but yeah, I guess we'll carry on the little cameo at the end, the promo for the ones who live that's at the end of that episode. We could still have that, I suppose. So yeah, they'll be there. They'll survive. I love how there's no one in could work. I've just kind of got conclusive things. Marco, sure, he can die in some like little skirmish with the Commonwealth. I haven't figured the Commonwealth skirmish out really, so I need to get down to that. I want there to be a little bit of a class war. So my main pitch, right, is that Gabriel at the start. Gabriel's going to be the big sort of mid-season, the second half finale. He's going to be the big death there. So basically, Gabriel is going on an absolute warpath. The thing with the Reapers didn't help. He's probably going to be the one who kills the preacher. Gabriel does kill this guy, the preacher guy, similar to how he kills him in the show. But instead of like Gabriel just suddenly restoring his faith when he gets to the Commonwealth, I don't like that. I think that it kind of ruined his arc because he was going down this dark path. And so basically, Gabriel's like he's not in connection with the Lord, but he's made like, in charge of the church. And so he sort of starts preaching to people like, this class system in the Commonwealth is fucking awful. Right? We were surviving out there. We'd share like resources, right? Because it's fucking, that's what humanity does. And now we're going back to the old world. No, like there isn't. The old world's dead. Okay, like this is like fucking survival. Sometimes this is like, it's like survival. It's either survival of the fittest or we survive together. But this class system, this doesn't. This isn't survival. This isn't surviving together. It's stamping on other people. And so Gabriel basically radicalizes his flock, right? A nice little connection to his the fact that he left his flock out to die. His new flock he radicalizes, and instead of like locking them out of the doors and to their death, he marches with this new flock out of the doors to lead them to their deaths, to attack the government. And so that's basically what happens. Like Gabriel and his flock of fucking congregation, and Rosita intercepts this as well as Aaron, and they're like, Gabriel, man, this is not. Yes, this thing is fucked up, but this is not the time, right? This is not the time to do it. We need to have like a proper, like, you're just going to lead these people to their death, right? You can't just do it now. And Gabriel's like, maybe actually Gabriel speaks to God. Maybe there's a moment there. I don't know. But like, basically Gabriel's like high and mighty. He's like, nothing's killed me so far. Everything. And if there is a God, if there is a God, if he still listens to me, if he's still there, he will guide. He'll guide us to success. He'll guide us to take over the government, wherever it may be. He won't put us in failure. And as a result, Gabriel's gonna fuck them all over. Right? They're all like, their entire group's already on like a last warning or whatever it may be. Like there's a chance that their entire group's gonna be expelled from the Commonwealth and left in the wasteland. So Rosita shoots and kills Gabriel. Okay, that's the conclusion. So Rosita kills Gabriel. So Gabriel is shot and killed. He's dead. Similar to the Dwight death in the comics. There we go. He's gone. Cool. And I love Gabriel as a character, but I think that's a nice way to end his character arc. Have him kind of go down the crazy route, right? Which is basically what they were doing, and then they just kind of ditched it. And Gabriel just kind of became a nothing burger character with like no personality, I felt. So, or like, I shouldn't say that. But in season 11, he didn't really do much. He just kind of, apart from the Reaper stuff, I really liked him in the Reaper stuff. And then after that, he just basically faded into the background and didn't really do much that interesting. So, who else have we got? We're into the Commonwealth stuff now, aren't we? So, Lance and the Ocean... I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but Lance massacring the Oceanside, I actually like, and we're just going to have it in... We're going to have it in there. And a part of that is Bertie. I think we'll probably kill off Bertie. We'll kill off Cindy. We'll bring her back. We'll kill off Rachel. We'll literally just kill them all off, right? He absolutely massacres the Oceanside. Bam, bam, bam. Dead, dead, dead. And I think Diane, Luke and Jules, like, they are going to be at the Oceanside, but they're going to be a bit more frequent this season, obviously, because Carol and Co are going to be, doing trades and stuff for the Oceanside. But Diane, Jules, and Luke, I think they'll escape. Maybe Rachel will escape as well. If we can get the actress back for Cindy, we can kill her off there. She makes some sort of sacrifice. Bang, she gets shot, dead. Sad times. It's probably enough characters, right? Oh, fuck it. Actually, thinking about it. Yeah, thinking about it, I think we'll probably kill Jules off as well. We'll have Jules die, we'll have Cindy die. I keep putting them in the wrong fucking category. And we'll have Bertie die. We'll have all three of them get killed. Kill off Jules, why not? So Luke escapes with... it's Luke, Diane, and Rachel. Those are the three that escape. There's nothing more for Jules. So Luke loses Jules early on. Big sad. Now, next up, what happens to them later, I guess? I think probably all three of these will probably survive. No, Diane will survive. Luke, I think, will probably die at the Commonwealth, like similar to how he died in the show. Right, we'll kill him off in that sort of similar way. But obviously, instead of his friends, he's got... At some point, he needs to find out about Kelly's death and be very sad about that. But yeah, I think he's surrounded by Magna, Connie, and Yumiko. And speaking of her, we may as well get out of the way. Magna, I want them to do something a bit more interesting with her. I think having her be like sort of a lower class kind of person. I think she's sort of involved in like the revolution, right? Revolting against it, because after the thing happens with Gabriel, I think Gabriel does take out like a lot of people though, like a lot of soldiers. So Lance is not happy with that. That's when like Lance kind of starts to turn on these people because it's like blowing back bad on him. And I think Magna's kind of involved in like the underclass thing maybe. So she'll survive. I keep mixing them up. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I like the Toby Carlson character. I think I'm going to just rework instead of the whole Riverbird thing. But I do like the idea of a CIA agent. So I think I'll keep him in and we'll see what we can do with him. But I do think obviously he's going to die. There's this guy called Henderson. We'll just kill this guy off as well. Yeah, why not? Tyler Davis. I don't really like the Tyler Davis story arc that much. But I think he could just be like another member of like the revolution, right? Someone who's in prison, someone who they free from prison. So yeah, we'll have him, sure. Livets, yeah, this will be like when the variant walkers thing. And I think that's probably part of Aaron's thing, is Aaron stays out of the Commonwealth for a bit. After the Gabriel thing, but I think that's when he sees the variant walkers. And like I said before, the variant walkers will introduce right at the start of the season. I think the very opening shot of the season for me is like a variant walker climbing over the wall, like being like slowly like climbing over the wall and sneaking into the house and almost killing Gracie. But as he climbs over the wall, another wall like collapses just from the sheer amount of dead, and a guard is like, because of the guard is like taken off guard because of the zombies that are coming through. You know, he's shooting at that, and the variant walker is able to sort of, or another variant walker maybe, I don't know, is able to like kill him and like throw him off the wall or whatever. So, or maybe it's the same variant walker, I'm not sure. But anyway, this variant walker almost kills Gracie, does kill a guard, and Aaron's like freaked out thinking it's like a whisperer, because Gracie's like, I locked the door, and like, oh sorry, I shut the door. The zombie opened the door, and he's like, it's a whisperer, and it's not a whisperer, obviously. And so Aaron, that's like part of the main reason why Aaron's like kind of starts to go a bit loopy and starts to go a bit cray-cray, and like so caring about Alexandria so much and all that. And so I think the variant walkers, like Aaron's like trying to warn, because there's like a whole fucking swarm of these variants now, right? They must have like migrated from up north or whatever. And I think yeah, so the Livets guy, he gets killed there. Although the Commonwealth's like security was like pretty ass. So I think there needs to be like something, instead of just the herd randomly like getting through in some convenient way. I think it has to be deliberate. So I think basically Pamela or Lance or whoever it may be, and I do think Pamela should be more of a puppet for Lance. Like Lance basically puppets Pamela to do his bidding. Like he's got all his claws into her. He's like, you know, he runs like every institution. So she's like the governor in name only, and that's about it, right? And although Lance isn't popular, he wants that popularity. That's part of like his biggest want. He wants to be recognized as a leader, but he knows that Pamela's like the face of it, right? That's the person that people love. So I think so Pamela's like less like the villain. She's just like another force that he's just kind of got his fingers in, right? And so, not literally, but yeah. So I think Lance is going to be like the main villain of the series, with Pamela being, and I think Pamela will obviously survive. She is just but like certainly she's not a total victim. She has benefited from this like thing, and she has put people down. And I think she probably will be in prison by the end. I don't know. Maybe Lance will die in the second to last episode. I'm not sure. And Pamela's like, okay, fuck it. Kill them all. Kill the pores. I don't really know. Or maybe that was Lance's. But at the same time, someone doesn't need to be in jail. Like, we don't need to have that scene. So Pamela could just survive and not be in jail. Who cares? Mercer's obviously going to eventually join the fighting, so he'll survive. Juanita, aka Princess, she'll survive too. Captain Commonwealth, he will die a noble death, killing some walkers. Ezekiel, okay, this is another character that I think probably should go. Now, I haven't really figured, this is the one I haven't really figured out, but I don't think him becoming the governor of the Commonwealth at the end is a particularly great ending. I think the more noble thing that he would do is when Carol bumps him up the list, Ezekiel's like, yep, I had the treatment. It was a success. Cool. he lied. He gave up his position for someone else, for another, like, for a child or something, right? Some kid in the Commonwealth. He gave up his position for a kid. And so, yeah, he eventually will die of the cancer. And actually, I think, to be honest, he can just die in the time skip. I think, yeah, maybe that will work. Like, he talks to Carol, and he's like, no, that's perfect. Thinking about it, that's perfect. So the whole sort of selfish angle with Carol, right? Where, like, he visits her as she's dying in the bed, and he's like, sometimes we do things that are selfless, right? And Carol's like, I wish you got that surgery. I don't want you to die. Now we're both gonna die, and maybe there can be like a little joke about it, like we're both dead now. And Ezekiel's like, well, it might be too late for me, right? Maybe the cancer spread as well. Who knows? Ezekiel's like, well, yeah, but like other people survived because of us, right? My sacrifice meant that like a little girl now gets to live many more years in the future, and your sacrifice, ensures her that home, right? That she gets to call a place that she gets to call home. So, yeah, basically, I want it to be like Ezekiel kind of sacrifices his place on the surgery list to like some other kids or some shit, right? Or maybe even it's one of Jerry's kids, actually. That could be a big moment. Boom, boom, boom. One of them's got cancer. Yeah. And of course, it's a bit too late for the Zeke, and so the Zeke doesn't make it either. And I think he just dies off screen after the time skip. And maybe there's like a little statue to him or some shit. Maybe there's a statue to both him and Carol, right? The king and queen of the coalition or whatever it may be, right? That could be like a nice way to end. So we kind of get a reference to the Rick Grimes statue that obviously is in the comics. Yeah, maybe a statue of both of them, but I think both of them should die. They both kind of sacrifice in their own way, and I think that's like a really nice way for Ezekiel to be like, do. So there's actually two big deaths in my rewrite, haha. Yeah, and I know people are gonna be like, well, Carol's in the spin-off. Carol's boring in the spin-off, so who cares? Jerry, I honestly think probably Jerry should have died in season 10, but at this point, I don't see much point at killing him off. Especially if I'm killing off Ezekiel and Carol. So I think we'll keep Jerry around, I suppose. Max we'll keep around. I was mostly happy with what they did with Eugene. I wouldn't change too much about it, so we'll keep Eugene around. Sebastian, obviously, will die. I think I'm going to change it somewhat, his death, but... Where is he? There he is. He will die too, obviously, but I'm probably going to change his death a little bit. We've, of course, got Roman. No, this is Romano. Romano, he'll die. Probably shooting at Daryl or some shit. We've got Roman Calhoun. He'll die too, of course. And more importantly, we've got Shearer. Where's Shearer? I just felt it really weird that they just dropped Shearer. But we'll have a moment where Shearer dies as well. Don't worry. Now we've got Gracie. She'll survive. I just got rid of the other tears in the end. We've got Gracie. She'll survive. Oh, Kyle. He can be another death in the Alexandrians, right? He'll be one of the Alexandrians that are slaughtered by the Reapers. We've got Kim. She'll be another Alexandrian. I know she's a Meridian person, but she'll be like in there too, and she'll get slaughtered too. Teresa. I guess she just, I don't know. She can die like during the herd coming through the Commonwealth. She can be one of the people who goes. So we have a few more recognizable faces because she did get surgery beforehand. May, who's Judith's friend, she should survive. Kayla, I think, well, she should be one of the people who gets mauled, get killed during the mega herd. Obviously, Rosie's Eugene's daughter. She's obviously going to survive. Who have we got? RJ. Obviously, RJ will survive. There's not really much point in killing him off. Especially when Rick hasn't even met him. The Warden, he's not in the show. He's a cool character, don't get me wrong. I think the actor's really good, and I think the concept of the character is pretty cool, but I just think it bloats the story too much to have like extra characters, so we're writing the Warden out the show. He's not in the show. Livets, I think we'll probably kill off as well. Who else have we got? April. I think we'll probably keep the April storyline somewhat. I probably will change it a little bit, but maybe I'll make her younger. I think like instead of making her just like a woman, I think I might make her like a 16-year-old or something instead. So yeah, so it's a bit more brutal, right? So yeah, but she probably will die as a result. And then we've got Judith, obviously will survive. Maggie will survive. I know some people will be like, well, no, kill her off. No, my big death is going to be Carol and Ezekiel, and obviously we're killing off Gabriel as well, and Alden. Where's Alden? This is Alden. This is meant to represent Alden. Yeah, Alden will die too. So we've already got like a lot of big deaths here, I think, and also and like Luke and a few like minor ones, right, to trim the fat, like Virgil and Luke and Scott and yeah. And then who else we got? Rosita. Okay, so Rosita's the trickiest one for me because I kind of like that death for Carol, but then I do also really like Rosita's death too. And she's this sort of character that she kind of fits into a similar vein to like Lydia, where I'm like, honestly, it could be either or. I don't know if I'm that bothered all that much, but well, I want her death to have meaning, right? And I felt like it had meaning in the show. So it could just be a separate thing where she saves all the kids, right? And she gets like devoured, like properly devoured instead of just bitten. Or she could die sooner, right? She could die. Now, her big sort of arc is killing Gabriel and basically like almost, potentially orphaning her child. So I think she should probably survive because I think like the kids get kidnapped maybe after that. And she's like, oh, fuck, I could have orphaned a child. So I think I'd probably keep Rosita alive in my rewrite. I do kind of want to kill her off, though, so just have more deaths. But nah, we'll keep her around. There's no point doing it for the sake of it. It needs to have, like, some meaning to it. And I've already killed Kelly as well. Yeah, I've got, like, Kelly. I've got Carol. I've got Ezekiel. I've got Gabriel. I'm basically swapping out the death because I think it would be better suited to Carol, not to sort of rag on Rosita's death because I think her death was pretty good. But I think I'm going to keep her alive and instead give the death to Carol. And then obviously got Mariam and Coco and Elijah and Aaliyah. There's Jerry's 3 kids and Rosita's child. I think all 3 of them probably survive. I don't see much point killing off. Well, I'm killing off Nabila, so we don't need to kill off Jerry's children, okay? Jerry's going to be the best single dad around, okay? And that will be his conclusion. Single dad days. And then we've got Adam. I guess we'll keep him around too. Although Maggie probably should be looking after Adam, but maybe she finds... Maybe actually... I was going to say maybe Elijah and Lydia look after Adam, but I feel like they're probably too young to look after a baby. But I don't know. Maybe someone else looks after Adam. Maybe it's Aaron. Yeah, maybe it could just be Aaron. I don't know. Yeah. And so we finally got Keith. I'm just probably going to... I guess we'll keep this alive. We'll keep Keith alive. I've got an idea for the Keith thing. I'll talk about it in a bit. Tommy we'll keep alive, obviously. Not really much point killing him off. And, I do feel like... this is part of the thing. I feel like Tommy being a brother is not as impactful as like a daughter, obviously, which is what it is in the comics. But then I don't really know how to change it because I don't like Yumiko's probably not got a daughter cause she's English, right? Who's in America, so we could change like it to a different character, but the characters have been set in stone. The ones who are going. Princess, it wouldn't be as impactful because we've just met her. So the only other person that could have a family member there would be Ezekiel, but we've never heard about any sort of family member, any child or anything from Ezekiel. So it'd be completely out of nowhere and we feel like a bit like a retcon. So I guess we have to keep the brother story arc, which is fine, but I just wouldn't make as big of a deal of it because it really isn't that big of a deal. Mainly because Yumiko's like not a massive character, and I don't know if she's even ever mentioned her brother before. So, yeah, Yumiko. I mean, not Yumiko. Tommy. He'll survive. There's not really much point to killing him off. And then we got like Georgie, Hilda, and Midge. I think these guys are just gonna. I think just reveal that Pope killed them. Okay, and maybe even have Georgie be there. I don't know, but like just Maggie just reveals in dialogue. Oh yeah, Pope killed those guys. Just because I've always wondered where the fuck Georgie is and like what, and she just kind of went quiet. It's kind of weird. And Dog. Everyone's going to hate me for this. but I think Dog should die in the Reaper arc. Okay, this is the last one. This is the last one. So during the initial attack on the Reapers, I think Leah will kill Dog, right? So although like Leah raised it, like Dog chooses Daryl over her, obviously because he's been with Daryl for longer now, and I think Leah like kills Dog, right? To be like cold as ice type of shit, right? Like, well, you know, if he's not loyal to me, snap his neck. So yeah, okay, that's how we know Leah is there. But Daryl, regardless, is like still, you know, still likes Leah, even though she killed Dog, but she also kind of gifted Dog to him at the same time. So, you know, it's like a give and take type situation. But that way, we kind of know that Leah is not the same person for a start, but also like, you know, Daryl has a reason to kill her, and he's like, oh, I really want to kill her, but at the same time, I kind of love her, that kind of thing. So yeah, I know people are gonna be mad, but we're killing off Dog, okay? Because Dog doesn't do anything anyway. Dog like disappears for like 4 episodes, and then like it's like, oh, he was here all along. It's just a logistical nightmare, and yeah, like listen, if I'm not killing off Daryl, I'm gonna kill off his dog at least. So there you have it. You can get a new dog when he's in the Commonwealth. Anyway, so. Like I said, all these characters, I've kind of explained how all those are going to die. But then just to briefly at the last part of this video, I just want to talk about where every character is kind of going to end, the ones that survive. So I think Yumiko will end the story probably back with Magna. I do want to improve on Magna a little bit in this season. But I don't just want to kill her off for the sake of it. I do want to like try and improve the character a little bit, because I don't think I can't think of a reason where killing her off would like be that impactful, because it would need to impact Yumiko and her friends. But I've already decided to kill Kelly as well as Luke. I don't think killing a third one is wise. So Magna and Yumiko, I think, will be together, and I think it's quite nice, the epitome of like, you know, Magna getting some like shitty retail job, right, or some badass, some bad shitty 9 to 5, and Yumiko of course being like one of the top dogs, right? And I think Yumiko should probably end up as some sort of like judge, right? I think that's probably a good end for her. So she's like some sort of judge, and when they do the time skip, I want them to do like an actual proper time skip. So like we kind of conclude the episode maybe halfway, maybe not halfway, but yeah, maybe even halfway, like halfway through the finale, we conclude it, and then we have like a little bit, I think probably a 3 or 4 year time skip, and we like see what's been going on, right? We kind of get like this idea, and maybe we can do it through like Daryl, right? Like Daryl's been searching for Rick this whole time. He's still fucking searching for Rick, even though Rick's like, man, he's dead, okay? He's dead, get over it. But like Daryl kind of comes back, he's been out, and he kind of visits everyone. So yeah, like Yumiko, we'll do it through like Daryl's eyes. That's what Daryl's been doing, obviously. And at the end, he goes back out. But yeah, that's where those two are doing. So Magna's probably just like, she runs a little fucking diner. And Yumiko is the judge. Aaron, he eventually did give up on Alexandria, of course. He gave up on it. And that's going to be like one of the stories. I need to work out exactly how that works, like within the Commonwealth stuff. But he eventually gives up on Alexandria. And he accepts the community is gone and it's not worth it. And he, of course, returns to the Commonwealth. He comes to the Commonwealth and he joins the Commonwealth. And I think he'd probably be something similar to what he was when we first found him. And that's a recruiter. So he goes out with a group of people to help recruit people. And I think that's basically what he was doing anyway in season 11. But that's like his new job. So he goes out to recruit people, and Gracie's like, bye Dad, I'll see you later. And maybe that's the first person Daryl bumps into, because he's like about to leave. Barbara's looking after maybe Barbara adopts Adam. Daryl's like, morning Barbara. She goes, morning Daryl. And she's got like little Adam, because at this point he'll be like 5 or 6. Connie and Daryl will get together as well. So I think Connie's actually, but she obviously still doing her job, right? So they're kind of like a thing, but like they're only a thing when Daryl, gives up on his fucking crusade. So I think Connie and Daryl kind of have like maybe a little welcome kiss, and he's like, how are you doing? Are you good, kind of thing? And she's like, yeah, I'm great. How are you? How was your trip? And he's like, yeah, it was all right. And then they'll see the male people, Lydia and Elijah. I guess they're doing the mail still, whatever it may be. Negan's probably fucked off at this point. Similar to what happens with the conversation with Maggie, and I think Maggie. Yeah, Maggie's probably there still. She's probably there still. So, no Hilltop. Hilltop's gone. I think she probably actually have Maggie and Herschel arrive at the bricks along with Diane and maybe like a few other extras that you just throw over. Maybe some Commonwealth people. And like Maggie's like, this will do. So they arrive at the bricks, which is the community they're at in the Dead City. Yeah, have them arrive there. Like, this is our new community. We obviously have the Rick and Michonne tease at the end of the episode. So that's how we end Maggie. But also that sort of conversation she has with Negan in season 11, we'll still have that there too. Who gives a fuck about Rachel? She's just in the Commonwealth somewhere, I guess, because Oceanside's been destroyed. Maybe she goes back to Oceanside. I don't fucking know. Pamela, I guess, either in jail or just kind of like dethroned. Mercer will be the governor. He's the guy in charge. It makes no sense that Ezekiel was the governor. It makes way more sense that Mercer's the governor. The reason why it doesn't make sense is, yes, Ezekiel's a good leader, so it makes sense for a story, but it doesn't make sense in a practical. If this big community voted in a guy who just joined like a day ago, right, or like a year ago, who they don't really know, that's what I mean. So that's why I don't think it's very realistic. Whereas Mercer's like a fucking celebrity, right? Everyone loves him, so it makes way more sense that Mercer would be elected. Obviously, Juanita Princess is just by his side. Rosie and they'll be doing their thing. Maybe going to double dates with Rosita and Coco. Yeah. And like there could be like a joke that like Rosita's like, I'm the single one. How funny, I'm the single one now, right? Or maybe she gets with Jerry now. I'm joking. Jerry is, maybe we have like a little kid thing going on, right? Like some like little kid meet up, right? Because Jerry's got his kids, and he's like, I'm a single dad, and I'm doing my shit well. We have RJ and Judith. Maybe that's when they meet Daryl, and then May's there too. Maybe bye Judith, bye. Whatever happened. Tommy, maybe Tommy won't appear in this little flash forward, but he's obviously going to be alive. And then Negan's already fucked off. And then finally, I want to talk about Keith. I like the idea of the whisper stuff. The Aaron, he's like, oh, you're a fucking whisperer. Fuck you. I'm going to torture you. Blah. What are you doing in the hilltop? Blah. Like, I like that as a concept. Like, the whisperer's still around. But I think this Keith guy and the whisperers, I think in the scene where Aaron goes out to look for people for the Commonwealth, to join the Commonwealth, and maybe this is like a little scene. Maybe he doesn't meet Daryl, right? But I think he finds Keith and the Whisperers, and he's like, you don't need to live like that anymore if you don't want to. Like, there's a place for you in the Commonwealth. Because maybe also in that scene, like, Keith's like, can we join you? Like, we don't want to be Whisperers, but this is all we know, right? This is how we survived when Alpha found us, and this is, like, how we know to survive. It's the thing that works, right? We don't have communities, we don't have wars, we just know how to hunt, we know how to live with the dead, and we know how to, like, survive that way. So I think, like, Aaron's like, nah, fuck you, you're not joining my community, you're dirty Whisperers. So he obviously, like, throws them out, but he doesn't, like, that's, like, part of his art. So, like, in the last episode, Aaron finds Keith and the Whisperers, and he's like, I didn't want you to join before, but now I do. Come join, and that sort of is another arc for Aaron. I feel like I've focused a lot on Aaron's arc this season, but not so much other characters' arcs. Carol's I kind of did. Daryl, I don't know. Daryl's like such a bland fucking slate. His arc's quite difficult, but I guess it's like kind of being a father to the kids, right? And I haven't really talked as much about that, but I think this video's gone on too long as is. So, yeah, that's basically who I think should have died and who is going to survive. I still feel like there's too many people surviving as is, but I've killed off as many as I feel like I can. Rosita is the only one where I wish there was another way to kill her off, a better way. So do let me know. Need to find a way to kill. Or either kill or like just give her like a better arc. So Rosita's like the only one, because I've kind of swapped her death out for Carol. Carol's now got her death, so if anyone's got a way to kill off Rosita, let me know, because I feel like her character dying is like a nice conclusion. Like the sacrifice she kind of makes to her daughter, and the stuff with her and Eugene's like really touching. And part of me wants to keep that, but at the same time, we could just scrap it and have her be alive. But it does feel like we're blowing the cast. Maybe we can kill more people off in the finale. I don't know. When it's like all is lost type of thing, right? Kill off more people. Haha. Maybe kill off Jerry then. I don't know. Like when the herd comes into the Commonwealth, we could kill off Jerry. Could do. Could, it's possible. Trying to think who else could die in that scene that's like not too big. There isn't really anyone. Maybe Elijah and Lydia. I don't know. I don't really want to kill off Lydia, because I think that's a way that she could save people, right? Maybe like Lydia and Elijah would be like, listen, there's a way, you know, that there's some kids or whatever. That could be a cool scene where like Lydia like teaches them how to like put the mask on and do the whisper shit, and that's how she like saves a bunch of people. That could be one cool way. Because they do the guts trick, but they'd be much better off doing the whisper trick instead of the guts trick. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. So those guys are getting written out. Those guys are surviving. I still need to find what I'm going to do with Rosita. But these guys, they're all going to die. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know what you disagree with, what you think I should change, and any other new ideas you've got, let me know. That's like still kind of roughly in line. I know this is a bit of a mess. My thoughts are a little all over the place. I've got things written down, but I'm just trying to like, I think I've got the Reaper stuff like locked down pretty well for the Reaper stuff. It's the Commonwealth stuff I'm still like kind of working my way through. I don't like the labor camps. I think we're just gonna get rid of them because it just feels a bit like on the nose. Like, oh my god, these guys are so evil, right? Haha. Like, instead of that, like, just have them be like a fucking, it's just a shitty like situation where the thing with Sebastian, like sending people to do like dirty shit, right? I like that, like getting people killed. I think that's a much more impactful story arc, right? Like using people, and there's a thing in the comics where like a guy gets beaten up and it's like, well, he's poor, so no one gives a fuck. Like, it's like shit like that, which I think is better in my opinion, right? Than just like a fucking labor camp. Like, oh, okay, the labor camp's just like it's just so on the nose, but also like corrupt people like that. Are they gonna have like dictators? If they're gonna have like a labor camp, they're either like honest about it, like, well, I don't know. Maybe did I guess like Auschwitz was like not was kind of a secret, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was kind of a secret, although there was like lots of rumors I think at the time. But I don't know, like. It doesn't, like, Pamela doesn't seem the type of politician to have a fucking labor camp, is what I'm trying to say. That's my problem with it. She seems like more the type to like just let innocents die. So I just don't like it. But anyway, I'm on a fucking rant again. I need to be shut up. So let me know, like I said, all your thoughts. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.